watching out for you. A Fox 5 I-Team investigation.
Now is the perfect time of year to view the autumn leaves in the North Georgia mountains, but our I-Team found there could be danger just around the bend.
That's right. Speeding motorcycles have caused hundreds of accidents and more than a dozen deaths in just the past 2 years. Senior I-Team reporter Dale Russell takes us on a wild ride in the North Georgia mountains. Dale.
Rush, right now, right in the Blue Ridge Mountains, people are enjoying the scenery. Many come by motorcycle. Most of those drive slowly and safely. But mountain sheriffs, shop owners, and citizens say some sport bikes are terrorizing the tourists. As the sun rises in North Georgia, thousands flock to the Blue Ridge Mountains. Families, hikers, cyclists, all here to enjoy the peace and quiet. But listen, and you'll hear why critics say a weekend drive can quickly turn into disaster.
He was a twisted, mangled mess.
It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts.
I knew I was going to die.
It scares them. It scares the people.
People come here to enjoy the peace and quiet of the mountains, but that noise you hear is the sound of discontent. Critics say some sport bike riders have turned these public roads into private racetracks, causing hundreds of accidents a year in these mountains and killing an alarming number of people. It can happen in an instant, right in the middle of a conversation.
Suddenly there he was, as like a bullet about to come through the windshield.
Renee Harrison and her husband were traveling down Highway 60 north of Dahlonega, coming into this curve when she says a sport bike rounded the curve at more than 100 miles per hour into her lane.
He cracked his skull and killed himself. However, my husband felt that he had killed him.
Renee and her husband were buying a cabin along a stretch of highway. It is known in the sport bike world as the Loop. It starts on Highway 60 north out of Dahlonega, crosses over the mountains, then weaves back down. Miles of winding roads and banked curves sprinkled with speed-enhancing straightaways.
Motorcycles go by here in excess of 100 miles an hour.
100 miles an hour?
Oh, yes.
George Case has battled the problem for years. He owns a country store right in the middle of the Loop. He says motorcycles scream around the mountain in winner-take-all races. Entrepreneurs have even set up cameras just above his store, capturing the action and selling the pictures on the internet.
That accident that occurred happened right there.
He's seen horrible accidents, including one right outside his store.
He was still alive and he was muttering under his breath, "Help me, help me, help me," but that's all he could do. He couldn't move. He was pretty much paralyzed, face down in the gravel.
And that accident is commonplace. We examined every single reported motorcycle accident in the 5 counties that encircle the infamous Loop. Since January of last year, we found more than 300 motorcycle accidents. That's a motorcycle accident almost every 2 days. And 13 people died. The I-Team spent 2 weekends in the mountains to get a first-hand look. Most of the motorcyclists we saw were driving safely, enjoying the scenery. But as we drove the winding roads, it didn't take long to find the people causing the problems. How many accidents have you had today?
There's been 2 today.
Both motorcycles?
Both motorcycles, both bullet bikes.
On a steep blind curve, a sport bike passed a car on a double yellow line, lost control, then ripped into the guardrail.
This guy was very blessed and very lucky. God was watching out for this young man.
We clocked speeds in excess of 150 miles an hour. And while driving the mountain roads, we were constantly passed by sport bikes, zooming up on our tail, passing on a double yellow line, even into blind curves, over and over and over again.
Whether they're doing the burnouts, riding wheelies, tailgating, crossing the yellow line. So all of these small infractions can become deadly.
To this day, I'm lucky to be alive.
Patty Turturro came face to face with death. She was riding her bicycle around one of those curves when she was hit head-on by a speeding sport bike, flying out of control around the curve. Her bicycle was sheared in half. She realized she could have lost her leg or her life. She says some sport bike riders are ruining the mountains.
If anything, it'll end up hurting this area, and people won't want to come up here if it becomes dangerous, and I think it's gotten to that point.
My local citizens, I think, being terrorized by the very few sport bike riders that come here just for the curves and just for the excitement.
Lumpkin County Sheriff Mark McClure battles it every weekend. He collects 911 calls from frantic tourists.
I want to report reckless motorcycles. They're running at least 100 miles an hour. We're passing people on the yellow line. One of them almost run right into the side of us.
These are terrible curves.
And uses push pins to pinpoint the danger zones as the accidents mount up. On the day we interviewed him, he had just consoled a family of 4 who were hit head-on by a sport bike on a dangerous curve. The motorcyclist was killed instantly.
I hate it when someone has to die. For the public to realize that this is serious, that driving 95 and 100 miles an hour on Highway 129 around hairpin turns can get you killed.
It's a small percentage of miscreants causing all the problems.
Two Wheels Only is a lodge run by and for motorcycle lovers. Owner G.T. Turner has been riding since 16. He says most of his customers abide by the law, respect the locals and the mountains. But he knows as sure as the sun sets on another weekend in North Georgia, a small segment of sport bikes will be preparing to come back and ruin the mountains he loves.
I don't know why they're doing it. It brings the heat down on everybody else that just wants to enjoy riding the mountains.
Now, Lumpkin County Sheriff Mark McClure and Two Wheels owner G.T. Turner both stressed to me it's a small number of sport bikes causing most of the problems. We found a motorcycle accident on average nearly every 2 days. So how fast are they going? Well, we brought out a laser gun to find out, and it's hard to believe just what you're going to see tomorrow night, Russ and Amanda, when you see the speeds that we clock.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. But you said in the story, 150 miles an hour, some of them, they ought to go to jail. But I guess for police, it'd be tough to catch them going that fast.
You know, we heard the story about one guy who was a state patrolman out there, and he put his laser gun on the bike as it came around the corner. It was doing 130 miles an hour, and he said he put it back down because he was scared.
Right.
He said he thought if the guy sees me, he's going to flinch and I may kill him. It's a big problem. How do you catch these guys once they go through? And we're going to deal with that tomorrow, too, about how is law enforcement grappling with this or not grappling with it.
Right.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Dale. We have breaking news to tell you about right now in Atlanta.
Right here on NBC.
Those motorcycles in the North Georgia mountain with a laser gun. How fast do they go? The mind-boggling results coming up.
Plus, federal raid 2 Atlanta farmers, sheriffs, and the state patrol in an uproar. So, how fast are they going?
Well, the I-Team pulled out their guns, their laser guns, that is, and headed to the mountains. Senior I-Team reporter Dale Russell is here now with the results. Dale?
Russ, in a word, how fast did they go? And our the words heard from people that we talked to and we told them about the speeds that we saw. Crazy, insane, and nuts. When we heard about sport bikes dangerously racing through the North Georgia mountains, we wanted to see it for ourselves. It didn't take long to find them screaming by as they passed us over and over and over again, crossing double yellow lines, heading sometimes into blind curves right into oncoming traffic. The kind of driving that has led to more than 300 accidents and 13 deaths since 2005 in 5 North Georgia counties. We were curious, just how fast do these sport bikes go? This video obtained from the Georgia State Patrol shows a sport bike's capability. This rider hits 140 miles an hour while doing a wheelie. With both wheels down, he races up over 200 miles an hour. Would anyone be brazen enough to drive at that speed on winding, banking mountain roads? We turned to Laser Atlanta to find out. Their guns, used by law enforcement, are pinpoint accurate. All you do is put the vehicle between the crosshairs and pull the trigger. It took only minutes to see the problem. How fast was he going?
96.
96. Hadn't been down this straightaway.
Right.
45 mile an hour speed limit.
Right.
We clocked automobiles. They drove on average at or below the speed limit. The fastest car clocked was 66 miles an hour. And we clocked a lot of motorcycles who were driving safely at or just a little above the speed limit. The cruising motorcycles clearly obeyed the laws, but we found the sport bikes were different. We clocked the motorcycles coming down this straightaway at 60 and 65 miles an hour, coming into this curve. Now the speed limit's 45, but the recommended speed is 25 miles an hour. Jim Kelly clocked sport bikes on mountain roads driving in the 70s, 80s, even 90+ miles an hour. While videotaping the 45 mile per hour speed limit sign, we heard them. They went by so fast we could barely get a camera on them, but Jim Kelly got them. What'd you get right there?
153, 93, and 85.
What was the first one?
153.
153 miles an hour.
And the guy was zooming.
The rider just clocked at 153 miles per hour, hit the brakes as he ran up on the tail end of a slower car coming into a curve. What did you think when you saw it going by?
I thought the guy was crazy. Absolutely crazy. With these curves around here, it's crazy.
Is it unfair to say that law enforcement has in a way given up in the mountains?
Well, not given up.
State Patrol and local sheriffs say they haven't given up, but they don't have the manpower to stop the madness in these mountains. Radar and roadblocks only work temporarily, and they admit even if they clock a speeder, chasing a 100-mile-per-hour sports bike can turn deadly.
There were three bodies laying all behind my car. One I knew was under my car.
Melanie Clem was traveling down Highway 115 when a state trooper began chasing two speeding motorcyclists. The chase ended when the two sport bikes slammed into Melanie's car. 2 riders were killed instantly, 2 others seriously injured.
It's just extremely frightening because I could have been killed that day.
Is there any way at all to stop it?
No, I don't think so. I don't think there's a way to stop it. Hopefully we can slow it down. There's always going to be that individual who wants to get on 2 wheels and see just how fast they can go.
Now again, we want to stress from what we observed and what the sheriff says, a small number of motorcyclists are causing all of the problems. But the problems are serious. Emergency responses are stretched thin. Weekends are spent cleaning up motorcycle wrecks by the sheriff's deputies, and some tourists and locals say the speeders have taken over. Now, we mentioned last night stories go around the mountains about the winner-take-all races. Well, the owner of the website who advertises those races told me it's all just a joke. He says it doesn't really happen. He says he put them on his website just to annoy the local sheriff. Russ?
Well, no joke. We've seen those riders on those fast bikes. Have you heard from any of them? What do they say?
We've heard a lot, mostly from email. Some have called, and there's also a lot of forums where the sports bike riders are on, enthusiasts, and they basically are saying some of the same things over and over here, and other people cause problems, the bicyclists, the cars that you see going over the double yellow lines, not staying in their lane. And some have acknowledged to me that, yeah, these guys are driving really fast, but the ones that are really causing the problems are the inexperienced drivers getting up there on powerful bikes that they're really not ready to drive yet, and that's kind of the main thing that we're hearing from them.
Yeah. Well, I don't care how experienced you are. Going 153 miles an hour is just plain selfish. You're putting other people's lives in danger on those curvy roads.
I believe the word that he used, crazy, seems appropriate.
Yeah. In addition to being illegal. Right.
Right.
All right.
Well, thanks.
Great story, Dale. Thanks. Still to come on Fox 5 News tonight, unsettling news about Atlanta.